Hello viewers, welcome to English for my world. Well, all these sessions we have been trying to develop the confidence in communication. We have studied several areas beginning from listening to common errors, different areas of persuasion, dissuasion. Today the focus is on writing skills. Well, people say the best way of practicing writing is to keep writing. So you want to become a good writer, you should keep practicing to become a good writer. And writing is also regarded as one of the tough skills or difficult skills. That is the reason in the sequence of these language skills, that is listening, speaking, reading, writing, writing is the last one. First one is listening, second is speaking, third is reading, then the writing. So after listening, after using the language verbally, orally, and after reading comes writing. Well, we know that we write for different purposes, different situations, different contexts. It can be an official letter, it can be a friendly email, because nowadays there are no letters, there are no hard copies. Most of the writing is happening on emails, electronic mails, and half of the communication is already happening on WhatsApp. The sad part of communication, especially in terms of WhatsApp, is people use English or people use the script of English to communicate in their regional language. It can be Telugu, it can be Hindi, it can be Odisha, it can be Bengali, whatever. They very conveniently and very comfortably resort to communicating in their mother tongue by using the script of English or by using English script. In this information technology explosion and in this world where we use communication by WhatsApp, by emails, by Twitter, by Facebook, it is very important to know the nuances of writing. It is very important to know the style of writing. If that is one communication that we are talking about, we also need to write essays. Students are supposed to write essays, and if one is an employee, he is supposed to write reports. He needs to prepare a report on the successful conduct of the project, what were the highlights of the project. And when it comes to even précis writing, there is another kind of writing, that is précis. We are supposed to, or the writer is supposed to condense or cut short the length of the text by using not lengthy words, by using words which are brief phrases and brief expressions. The brevity has to be maintained in précis writing. Okay, now that we have spoken about letters, essays and précis, I would like to first of all begin with letters. Well, the word letter is, or the word note is definitely unavoidable in our day-to-day life. Beginning from a leave letter to a letter of complaint. Every area, a note for permission, a complaint or request or convincing the manager to accept your request, persuade him, dissuade him, whatever. letter writing is something very, very important. So emails, electronic mails are the places where we write these letters, because nowadays writing on, using letters, by writing manually and posting letters, these are all, gone are the days for that sort of writing. Most of the communication is now happening online, electronically, on smartphones. So whether it is, traditional type of letter writing or letters that we wrote on, papers, or whether it is online, grammar remains the same, vocabulary remains the same, but the style of writing, yes, it has changed a bit. However, let us see the way a letter is opened. Let us see some 10 good opening lines and 10 good closing lines. And let us also look at the kinds of phrases and expressions that are used in letter writing, because I am not going to cover complete essays in one program, even I cannot if I want, and our focus is exclusively on small notes, simple letters, purposeful, meaningful letters is the focus of this session. For instance, for example, if I am writing an official letter, because friendly letters can be written even by using spoken language, the important area here is how to write official letters. What sort of phrases and expressions are used in official letters? Well, we all know that we begin with the to address. We mentioned the to address in the letter. That's the first thing that we have to do. That means we must mention whether it is written to the manager or to the principal or to the chief executive officer, whoever. So to address is a must there, followed by this to address, whoever, somebody. In olden days, we used to write the date on the top right hand corner of the letter. Olden days. But nowadays, even the date is also written on the left hand side. Everything on, on the left hand. That is modern days letter writing. So even an email, electronic mail is the same. We mention the receiver's address at the top of it, and we mention the date, and then we mention the subject of the letter. What is that subject about? For instance, for example, I am writing a letter to the manager of State Bank of India, and the subject here is, it is actually a letter of complaint, and yes, it is also a letter of request. I tried withdrawing money from the ATM. I went and tried withdrawing 10,000 rupees from the ATM. When I used my card, the monitor says 10,000 rupees is debited to this account. Please collect your notes, and 10,000 rupees is withdrawn from my account. But when it comes to cash, I did not receive cash in the ATM. But 10,000 rupees has been deducted from my account. Definitely, it's a matter of concern. I must bring it to the attention of the manager, branch manager, because he is the authority concerned. Remember, I am not saying concerned authority, authority concerned, or the head concerned. So here I am writing a letter to the branch manager, bringing to his attention the problem or the difficulty that I faced in withdrawing the 10,000 rupees, and my worry here is the money has been deducted from my account, but I did not receive the cash from the ATM. How to bring it to his notice, how to request him to arrange to address this problem, what sort of words, what sort of sentences go into that practical problem. And this is a problem that we face, or you might have faced, in withdrawing money. So first of all, I will mention to the manager, State Bank of India, maybe Lalaguda, or some place, Abbots, Hyderabad. Then I will mention the subject. I will mention the subject of it. I will say request to address, or request to please, request to arrange to address the problem. And when it comes to the salutation part of it, when you begin the letter, it has to mention the person's title. If he or she, we say sir or madam. Some of them also use respected sir, honorable madam, to impress the authority. Well, the word sir itself is it's a title for respect. We can also say, if we want to make it more formal, more official, more standard and more respectable, we can say respected sir or honorable sir, because we live in a country where give respect, take respect is the top priority. Now I am beginning the letter. I will say, I would like to bring a few lines to your kind attention. Recently, I have tried to withdraw 10,000 rupees from my bank account, from my savings account. But before that, I should also introduce myself. So I will say, I am my name. I am one of the account holders of your branch. I am my name. I am one of the account holders of your branch. My account number is, we will mention the account number there. Then in the maybe second para, recently I have tried to withdraw 10,000 rupees from my account. When I withdrew 10,000 rupees, the ATM says 10,000 rupees has been deducted or debited to my account, but I have not received the cash. I request you, sir, to kindly address this problem. I request you to kindly arrange to, address this problem. Awaiting your reply. Awaiting your, immediate attention. Yours sincerely, or yours truly. You sign there and send the email, shoot the email to the branch manager. If you are writing on a piece of paper, this is how you write and submit to the branch manager. So there are different kinds of letters written. This is one of the letters. Always remember to mention the first line as, I would like to bring a few lines to your kind attention. And then introduce yourself. And then mention the problem. And then request for the action to be taken. And end the letter, close the letter. Remember, official letters are not very lengthy letters. We cannot write the entire story of, how did I stand there, what sort of problems I faced in withdrawing the money, and we cannot also use negative or, unnecessary language there. And we know that authorities will have very less time to go through several things in the time that they have. So a letter should be as simple as possible, or a note, an email should be as simple as possible. Do not use lengthy sentences. Write simple sentences. Let the writing be crisp and natural. Don't use proverbs in your letter writing, and don't use showy kinds of words. Let the words, let the sentences be simple, natural, focused, and let the purpose of communication be crisply mentioned in the letter. Well, if this is one letter of complaint, Let me mention one letter of request, and this letter of request is, one of the employees has been working very hard in the organization. Imagine it is a publishing house. Assume that it is a publishing house. And the person has been working very hard. He doesn't have proper guidance, proper leading, and he is not being promoted to higher levels. All his hard work, all his sweat of the brow is being enjoyed by his higher ups, because we know very well that higher ups usually dominate. They do not let the subordinates to grow in the organization. They do not want the subordinates to, some of them, not all of them, to get elevated to higher positions. So the hard work and the labor of this employee is nicely being exploited by the higher ups, and the chief boss, who is the boss of the higher ups as well as the employee or the subordinate, doesn't know what is happening in this process, and this employee is actually in extreme frustration, tension, stress. His health is adversely affected because his hard work is not being recognized, and he is going through several problems. He cannot straight away go to his chief boss and complain about his immediate authorities, immediate bosses. He is afraid about his livelihood. All these things are happening. Now in this situation, how to, fortunately by God's grace, he has got a wonderful book order for about 2 crores. It's a wonderful project where this employee, he is a sales executive and he has managers above him, and the chief manager sits in New Delhi. So this sales executive, he went to one of the educational institutions, convinced them, impressed them, influenced them about the publications of his book house, and he could get an order for rupees 2 crores in that educational institution. Now for about 5 to 6 years, he did not receive any promotion. There was no pay hike in his salary, and there was tremendous pressure. The cost of living has been increasing, skyrocketing prices. The prices are always skyrocketing, and that is actually building pressure in this employee or in this sales executive. So how to bring all these things to the notice of the chief manager who is sitting in New Delhi? His immediate managers should not be offended by his communication. How should he write a letter to the chief manager sitting in Delhi? Now he is writing a letter to the chief manager. He is writing an email to the chief manager. He begins with the formal designation, the chief manager, name of the publishing house, New Delhi, and he mentions the subject there. In the subject, he uses words such as great success hyphen book order for rupees 2 crores. Great success hyphen book order for rupees 2 crores. And he begins with the title as usual, Honorable Sir or Respected Sir, because he wants to impress his chief manager. When he starts writing the letter, he begins the letter by using the expression, by using the word, it gives me immense pleasure. It gives me immense joy to share with you the good news of book order for rupees 2 crores. Remember, the very first sentence, I am using the phrase or expression, it gives me immense pleasure. It gives me great pleasure to share with you the good news of the book order for rupees 2 crores. And now that he began the first sentence with this good news, he has already brought his manager in enjoying that good news, or in reading that letter or reading that email furthermore enthusiastically. Now in the second, third sentences, he mentions that I have worked very hard to secure this book order. I had to go to the authorities several times to convince them, to persuade them. I have tried my level best in convincing them. Remember, in the third line he is writing this. Let me also mention that in the midst of several trials, in the midst of several disappointments, in the midst of several, highs and lows, I have been successful in generating the book order. I request you, sir, to kindly focus on, or to kindly understand the hard work that I have done. My humble request is, kindly consider me for promotion and pay revision. Awaiting your favorable reply. Yours truly, employee signature. So viewers, observe the kind of expressions that I have used. I did not write the expressions on the board. I have been verbally, orally explaining these expressions. Expressions such as, it gives me immense pleasure, it gives me great joy. Subject lines. I would like to bring a few lines to your attention. What sort of words are used in closing the letter? Usually yours truly or yours sincerely. And try to use simple sentences. Try to convey the message in a simple way. And let the reader feel to read and give him the scope to take the decision by your words. Convince him in such a way that he is impressed. So that's all I have for you about the developing writing skills. Because letters are very important, I focused on letter writing. I hope the session has been useful and meaningful to all of you. Thank you for watching.